So that was a lot of looking at a black screen. Sorry about that. Hope you guys are well. If you don't know who I am, my name is Don Diablo. Uh, I make music. I'm a DJ producer. I live in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands. And Men with Class invited me to have a chat. I see some people are like, who am I? Love from Canada. I'm in Amsterdam right now, and some people enjoyed the black screen, so that's dope. um, yeah, I'm here to answer some questions. If you guys want to know anything random, and I'll take you around my house for a little bit. If you want to see that, I just built a church that I rebuilt into a house. This is my studio. So right now I'm working on some music. I'm going to show you guys something. A little sneak preview. I don't even know where Sneak previews right there. So yeah, where are you guys from? Where are you watching from? Shout out to Men with Class up there. Hit me up if you want to know anything. Love your studio. Play your tracks. My favorite plugin. When it comes to synths, it's probably Serum. I like all of the Fab Filter stuff for like all the basics. I really like Omnisphere for like atmospheric synths. So, who's your inspiration for what you do today? Oh wow, thank you, Inga, for that question. To be honest, it's my dad. My dad passed away about 6 years ago. He was a very kind, gentle, sweet man, and he was also was a hard worker and had a really sort of interesting taste for music. He named me after one of his favorite artists, Captain Beefheart, Don Van Fleet. Yeah, and the way he treated other people and the way he looked at the world was really inspirational for me. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Turn this off. How am I doing in quarantine? Well, you should check out my Instagram. I've been doing pretty well, actually. Obviously, I lost all my shows. I canceled about, I think it was like we lost 70 shows around that number. And so that's pretty crazy. This has never happened before to me, losing so much work in such a short amount of time. But I've been more creative in the studio. I've been I've been working on my new clothing line. So that's been really cool. I just released a comic book, which has always been a childhood dream. And yeah, I've been getting some more tattoos. Yeah, so there's like I've been actually also be looking at my health. So yeah, I've been really working out and trying to eat healthy. How much time you spend on a track? This is a good question. Sometimes I spend like, I make a track in 8 hours, like in a full day, boom. And sometimes it takes me like months. So, and I just keep going back and forth on the same track. So yeah. Do you begin with the track idea if I drop my break? I'm seeing a random question there. To be honest, sometimes I start with this song and then I really sort of have a lyric in my mind, and sometimes I have a sort of a melody idea in my mind. So it's both ways, to be honest. What's your favorite track you've ever made? This is the tough question, guys. It's always the last track that you make. I think the most personal record I ever made is this track called "The Artist Inside" with J.P. Cooper. I saw J.P. Cooper in a bar like many years ago. Really liked his voice, and I was like, we need to work on this song together. That I released, and I wanted to play it on actually very personal, on my dad's funeral. It's really an ode to my father. It's definitely not my biggest song, but it's my most personal song, and probably my favorite song that I've ever made. So, what's up? When collab with Retrovision? Yeah, we're working on that. Obviously, I have a record label. For those who don't know who I am, it's called HEXAGON. Yeah, and there's a lot of new talent on there. And one of those artists is Retrovision. He's from France. And I really enjoy guiding new artists through their career, helping them out when it comes to music or ideas or thoughts or even like little things like traveling or how to pack up your bag. Actually, Retro asked me like, how do you travel for 2 weeks and still have like so many outfits and literally have such a small suitcase? So yeah, the collab will come soon. Definitely somewhere in the next year or so. So hold tight. How many languages do I speak? I like these questions. So I speak Dutch. Ik spreek Nederlands. Dit is hoe het klinkt als ik Nederlands praat. Ich spreche auch ein bisschen Deutsch. I speak a little bit of German. Je parle aussi un petit peu français. Pas beaucoup, mais yeah, I try. So I speak a bit of French. I really want to learn more Spanish, but you know, I think for me, it's mainly English, Dutch, and French, a little bit, and German pretty fluently. So I guess 3.5 languages. Biggest moment of your career? Oh wow. Hmm. You know what? Like, I think like going into the DJ top 10, you know, of the biggest DJs in the world was a big thing for me. Because as a kid, I always used to have these posters like above my bed with like the 100 biggest DJs in the world. I was like Fatboy Slim, Sasha, Digweed, you know, Carl Cox, all these legends. And now, like for me, entering like last year, you know, I entered at number 7, and now I'm number 6. I know it's a list, and you can't really kind of, you know, judge creativity or music by lists or votings, but it really meant something to me that so many people voted for me, to the point that I ended up, you know, being amongst the 10 most popular DJs in the world. Was a big thing for me. And the other thing as well was like being the #1 producer of the year, the most played producer in clubs and festivals last year was a special one for me as well, because that means you're onto something big. What about COVID? What are your tips for producers that are just starting out? You know what? Like, I think the best thing you can do at first is just listen to how other people are doing it. Like, um, you know, listen to like how what is it that you like, what is it that you're into, and then analyze it, and then kind of just try to almost try to copy it. Like you know, I looked at some of these. If you go, I went to the Picasso Museum once, and I saw like actually I went to the wrong museum. It was a museum like Picasso before it became Picasso. And he was really basically copying and studying other greats, you know, like a Van Gogh, for instance. And I think that's a good way to start. It's kind of like analyzing how are other people doing this, so you kind of master the art of, getting the technical part down. And then from there on, you can start thinking about your own ideas and your own creativity, and yeah, kind of start thinking about some unique things that you can put in and add to what is already existing out there. How did you come up with your name? Yeah, that's a good question. I'm actually, well, my real name is actually Don. So a lot of people think my real name is Pippin, but it's not actually. I do have like, I don't know if you can see this, it's like the half sword from Lord of the Rings in there, because my second name is Pippin. My father named me after Pippin from Lord of the Rings. But my first name is Don, named after Captain Beefheart, which was like an American avant-garde musician. And he yeah, so that was that. And then I was 15 when I came up with Don Diablo. So a friend of mine used to call me Diablo because I was basically anything except a Diablo. I didn't smoke, I didn't do drugs, I never drank alcohol in my life, actually. Never did drugs in my life. So he's like, I gotta come up with a cool nickname. That became Diablo. Then it became Don Diablo. It's as simple as it is. Where do you get your sounds/samples from? Actually, a lot of it I just create, to be very honest. Like, I think a lot of producers and DJs are focusing on, production. It's very much about production, like technical stuff. But I think it's really about just writing music, coming up with ideas, melodies, lyrics, and not just taking anything just from Splice or sample CDs, but coming up with your own original ideas. For me, it comes first. So yeah, I mean, obviously now I'm getting a little bit more into Splice. I really like the platform. So it's good to like just have like the basic stuff. If you want to have like you can go through millions of snares and hi-hats and all that stuff. So it's actually pretty handy. But yeah, all those sample packs with my name on it, and there are lots, and even have my face on it, they're actually not mine. I'm not making any money on it. I didn't make them. So they're actually illegal. But I actually don't do anything against it because I believe in free music. I believe in people should,
find their own ways in making music, and even when I hear some music that's like very much inspired on my music, or sometimes even sometimes kind of samples my music, or even literally samples my music, I don't really do much against it, because you know there might have been times where I've done the same by accident or on purpose. You know, I think creativity needs to flow, and I don't think artists should be limiting or stopping each other. And I'm very honored when people, you know, kind of get inspired by my style or steal something from me if they want to reuse it. That's just how music works sometimes. But yeah, I'm kind of into splice lately. I think everything you need is there. My favorite DJ. You know what? I'm not really into DJs so much, to be very honest. I never really go and look at other DJs. Yeah, this is a good question. Um, you know, like whose music I really like, and I think his sets are really dope. It's Stein. Really like him. Obviously Daft Punk, you know, but they're not DJs. But like, you know, when it comes to music and their performances, really love what they did in the past. Um, I saw this Petit Biscuit performance the other day, which because I was just kind of going through the internet looking at some cool live performances. I really liked what he did. So yeah, next to that, I think Flume is definitely up there for me. So my production software, by the way, is Cubase back there. So my top three festivals worldwide. Wow, good question. I would say Tomorrowland, Lollapalooza, and it's gonna be tough. Like there's so many. I'm gonna insult a few, but I always have a great time at EDC Vegas, to be honest. So let's leave it there before I get into arguments. How much does the energy of the room you're affected? How much does the energy of the room you're in affect? Oh yeah, it's a good question. It does actually. You know what? Like I've been traveling so much. Like before this whole Corona crisis, I was basically, you know, I was traveling 24/7. Didn't really. I slept like 2 3 hours a night. I was really kind of like killing my body, and in a way also my inspiration. So um, I had to get out of my old apartment, and I had to buy this like, new place, kind of get inspired more. So I bought this church, and if you can see, the energy of the room is cool because this is actually it's a church tower, um, and I built it into a studio. So it's a very illogical place to have a studio. But I really like it because it has great energy, and it's actually inspiring me now that I have more time. Like right now, I have more time than ever, and I'm just kind of jamming in the middle of the night, just by myself, making beats, working on stuff that might never get released. Um, but that's how I started, you know. Like I think once you become bigger, there's more pressure. People need hits, they need releases, they need this, they need that. But now I have more time to really feel out the energy, kind of just experiment a little bit more. So I think a lot of good music is going to come from this period. For me personally, for sure, because I'm going to kind of going back to my roots in a way, and kind of just getting a little bit more nitty gritty with the production stuff. What advice would you give someone who wants to get into the scene? Depends on what scene you want to get into. I think with anything, it's really about like I think it's important that you don't. In the beginning, you're very open-minded, very humble. You know, open-minded in the sense that like don't have don't be arrogant, don't have an air. Um, like basically, make sure that you are willing to learn. I think that's the most important thing. I had several moments in my career where I like um, I I had to humble myself, and I had to kind of start over again. I think 6 7 years ago was my definite breakthrough worldwide. But before that, I was already kind of well known in my own country. But then there was a dip, and everyone was like, "Okay, his career is over. Fuck that guy." So I really had to start over again, where I was kind of like already, I did all the big festivals, did everything you can imagine, was on the cover of a shitload of magazines, was like Esquire's Best Dressed Man. And then I lost my momentum, and then I had to kind of go back to the start and really basically open up, you know, some clubs and some festivals for DJs that used to be smaller than me. But I really wanted to put in the work, put in the graft, be humble, and I think I never lost that attitude. I think you're as good as your last, you know, your last results, and you just have to make sure you never make any enemies going to the top, because once you're going down, they will kick you in the back and you will roll over, roll down extra hard. So I think that's very important. Stay humble, work hard. With who would you wish to make a collab in the future? Good question. Actually, I've been chatting a little bit with the guys from Galantis. I've always really liked their music. We've been chatting a lot these last days. So who knows what will come from that. Yeah, and actually I just had a chat with Aloe Black because he's doing a 24-hour Avicii tribute marathon, 12 hours, sorry. No, it's 24 hours. And yeah, he has an amazing voice, so he's definitely on my list. And who else? Who else? Yeah, I made a record with Andy Grammer. He's an American singer I really like. He's actually one of my mom's favorite singers. So I'm really happy I made that happen. And right now I have a single out with Zach Abel, who was always high on my list. I really like his soulful tone to his voice. Yeah, hope that answers your question a little bit. If you weren't doing music, what would you be doing in your life? You know what, like I just like I don't know if I can show you this. So I just made a comic book series that we just dropped, and that we will be releasing. This is a physical copy, and there will be a book, there will be sick merch, and there will be yeah, this is just a start, but we'll also be dropping it digitally very soon, which is very exciting. I got a really good team behind it now, people in America and Asia, and making comic books. You know, this is a story I've had in my mind for many, many years, and I'm really, really hyped that I finally got to make it. Then the same goes with like clothing. I really like designing clothing, and you know, my clothing line is doing really well at the moment, so I'm really excited to make that grow more and more. Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. What's your goal with the clothing line? You know what? Initially I didn't have a goal. I think my goal definitely is not to make a lot of money with it, because then I would have sold it, you know, sold the items for more money. uh, it's basically it's a little it's multiple. It has multiple sides. I want to reach more people worldwide. Like, because when I was kind of, you know, able to buy clothing, all the stuff that I wanted to buy was too expensive. So I want to make stuff that's like, you know, affordable, but still, you know, feels like a little bit more high end, a little bit more outspoken, so people can have their own style without paying too much for it. Then everything I do is very travel friendly. It's like doesn't wrinkle as much as usually it would do. It has a lot of pockets, double zippers. Some of these things are like reversible, so it's really a practical thing as well for me. So I'm making clothes that I can wear while traveling, and then you know, I think there's been a couple of moments that were like beyond what I ever thought I would be able to do. Like for instance, I did a clothing collab with Star Wars and Lucasfilm, which was like crazy. I would want to do some more of that. I mean, talks with some bigger brands to maybe help me out. You know, and kind of start working together and grow the brand even more. But it's already like kind of growing over my head at the moment. So, but the goal is to reach more people eventually, obviously, the main goal. Best crowd you've seen in 2019. Yeah, obviously in Italy for sure. Crazy. Like the further down in Europe you go to south, when you go to Italy and Spain, the crazier it gets. But also in East Europe, it's been crazy. Like Poland and Russia, all my music gets like hammered on the radio out there, and people are like super super into it. Um, but there are also super crazy crowds in China, and obviously in South America and Mexico. But I've been having great times in America lately as well, North America. So it's crazy because, you know, I never thought I would be traveling the world, playing all these countries and getting a response and selling so many tickets in all of these different places with all of these different cultures, because India as well, and Turkey, and these are all countries that, you know, like are really blowing up at the moment. So it's hard, man. It's hard to pick one country. Oh, my favorite film, Delilah. It's actually it's an Italian film. It's called La Meglio Giovantu. Um,
it's a film that's like 6 hours, but it's beautiful. You have to see it. It's like a family drama, but you have to. It's one of those films that really kind of feels like it's art transforming life, meaning that you watch it and you really want to start living. So I would definitely advise you to watch that one. Also, I really like Mar Adentro, The Sea Inside, with Javier Bardem. Beautiful film. When it comes to like more commercial films, I mean, to be honest, like I really love Gladiator. Really kind of hit me here with all the music and all the scenery, the acting. Yeah, that really was a film that really carried me away, as much as like films like Shawshank Redemption, etc. It's the funniest thing that ever happened to me on stage. Wow. It probably was a time where I was playing in this huge arena for 40,000 people. I was really jamming out, doing my thing. And then this was in a time where I was still playing with CDs, so I had this CD case. And then when you pick a new song, you kind of like turn around like this, and then you come back, and then you start mixing again. You put the CD in, you start mixing. But I literally didn't notice that the DJ booth was on wheels. So while I was playing and looking at my CD case, my headphones were ripped off, and I had no idea what's going on. But what happened was that the DJ booth basically just rolled off the stage, fell down, like it was really high stage, like 8 or 9 meters on the floor. Everything collapsed. It was just a loud sound, and then no sound. And then literally everyone was like, okay, what's going to happen now? So I just stood there with just a mic. And there's like 40,000 people looking at you. What the hell? So that was definitely embarrassing. But I did brush up my beatboxing skills there. I did like 10 minutes of beatboxing. Where's one place you like to relax and refocus? This is a good question. These are questions that I've started to answer for myself while, in this isolation. I actually haven't been on a holiday for 7 years, and I haven't really relaxed for many, many years because I've been so focused on making music and doing this thing right here, like creating this momentum, that I haven't been in a place to relax for a long time. So I did build like a little spa inside my house. I can show you if you want to see quickly. I'd have to run down. So I'm trying to create a situation. I might lose connection, so bear with me. Yeah, I'm trying to build a house where I can like really chill. Like this is the living room. Let's show you like this. So I built like a custom ping pong table. There's a few arcade machines. There's a few more coming. And then there are actually many, many levels in this house. So I'll show you like one more. It's beautiful if you look at like this. You can see some of the architecture from when it was still a church. And I built this little spa here to relax. Let's see if you can see it. I hope it doesn't lose connection. Let's see. I don't know if you can see this. As you can see, I'm a big Star Wars fan. And then back there's some more. There's like a sauna and a place to massage and stuff. So, yeah. I hope that kind of answers your question. This is the first thing I bought for myself after I had a little bit of success. Now I was like, maybe I should reward myself a little bit. Favorite sport? At least I move in. Yeah, come move in. Favorite sport? Actually, I used to be a BMXer, so bicycle motocross. I used to travel the world. I think actually I was cleaning up the house that I used to live in the other day, and I found this picture of me. I actually competed in the World Championships. I wasn't great. I always used to end like last in the finales, but still, this is something I let's show this. So, yep, there you have it, young Don. So, yeah. Favorite place, club to party? Whew, good question. You know what? I'm like a. Sorry, I'm walking back in. Um, I'm not really a party kind of guy. This sounds weird, because I am obviously a DJ. But I actually never. I'm really sort of into the art of making other people party. So I don't really know what my favorite club is. But yeah, that's why I started DJing, to be honest, because I'm very horrible at picking up girls, and I like it when they talk to me because I'm afraid to make the first step. And also, like, I don't really drink alcohol. I never tried it, at least. So the other option was to become the DJ. So that's how I learned making music. And well, now I'm here. So, but my original plan was actually to become a filmmaker. Um, but now, obviously, that kind of failed. So I'm now a DJ producer. Favorite rock star? uh, yeah, this is a very good question. I remember the first concert I went to was the Rolling Stones when I was like 6 or 7 years, together with my mom and dad at the time. It made a big impression on me. And then after that, I saw a Lenny Kravitz concert, which really also made an impression on me because of the way he interacted with the crowd. Um, yeah, I mean, besides that, I'm a fan of bands like The Killers. Yeah, and I'm really obviously yeah, actually really okay. If I think about it, I really like Chris Martin. He's not really a rock star, but the way he approaches music is, basically his whole approach to what he's doing, and obviously his melodies are crazy, very talented, very steady when he sings live. Yeah, I'm really impressed by him. Have you actually musically trained or gone out to a music school? Yes, actually, long soul music. I I was actually um, I took keyboard lessons. So at first, I started out taking piano lessons, and that switched into keyboard lessons. I still don't know what the difference was because it's basically exactly the same thing. So yeah, that still helped me making my melodies that I'm making nowadays. But I by no means am a virtuose piano player, because sort of halfway in I was like, okay, great. So what if I now am the best drummer in the world, the best guitar player, the best pianist? That's not gonna get me records. So when I was 13, I started working really hard. I worked like 3 jobs: washing dishes, working in a like a naked sauna, chasing out perverted old men there. Like I had like 3 jobs, making money, and I started buying my first equipment. And when I was 14, I was releasing my first records. So by the age of 15, I was already traveling the world. I flew to Tokyo. Remember when I was, while I was still 15. So it was pretty crazy for my parents as well. They were like, "What is he doing up there in the attic?" So for me, producing was really a skill that I wanted to learn, because you have to learn a little bit of everything: a little bit of piano, a little bit of drums, a little bit of guitar. I sing on my own records. You have to write the songs alone, together with people. It's really challenging musically to do this, because you're like a one-man band. So, how many jackets do you have in your dressing room? Aha! BB Hexagonians, Belgian Hexagonians, here, right there. Um, Good question. This I will save for another time. But I'll try to make a little item on that. There are a few. You have a secret talent. If so, show it. I think I already showed it. Like, one of my secret talents is this. I don't know if I can show you. Um, I'm actually pretty good with like doing voices. One of these things that I did was this little video. on my Instagram. So while I'm in quarantine, I have no featured vocalists at my disposal, and I want to see if I could do something very muffin quickly. We gotta do this quick, so let's just take this dope logistics beat and start rolling on this. Check my 1 2. Check my 1 2. Got my future on my mind, Don Diablo. Got my future on my mind, Don Diablo. Coca-Cola, got me staying home. Coca-Cola, got me staying home. So, yeah, I'm pretty good with like doing voices. That was my Shaggy voice. There's a few more, but let's leave it at that one because you're gonna make me shy. But this is what I do all the time with my friends. So, voices. Sometimes I trick them. I call them as other people. Why did you decide to name your label Hexagon? This is a good question. I believe there are 6 important things that happen to you in your life, and life has obviously in between your birth and your death, you get to decide what those 6 things are. Your destiny is in your own hands, and obviously when you're talking about 6 sides, you are talking about a hexagon. So that's where it comes from, and then the logo itself comes from the hexagon shape plus the anarchy sign in the middle. Obviously, so it basically means like in the future there will be no rules. So you're free to kind of make up your own future and decide your own fate. So it sounds deeper than you probably would have thought, but that's kind of where hexagon came from in the logo. And obviously to me, and I guess the fans right now, it's much more than just a music label or a label in general or music in general. It's a way of living. It's a thought process. And yeah, I think that's where I come from, because yeah, I literally just built this from the ground up, and I was very, very much down under before I started all of this. This really sort of brought the light to me. I woke up one day and it all came to me, and I think like 7 years ago that was the day when all of this came to me, and that's kind of when I haven't stopped since then. I haven't been on a holiday. I haven't been thinking much. I've just been doing, and just kind of like had all these brain waves going through my brain. And every time I think this is a stupid idea, I figured I'd just do it anyway. So, and that's kind of what it is. You gotta live like you're still a kid. And I think when you're a kid, you have the best ideas. You have no fear. You know, you're just free. And I think as you grow older, there's like, you lose that sort of initial raw incentive and no fear mentality and attitude, which is so important to have in life, because if you take risks, only if you take risks, you're going to win. So, yeah. What's my favorite instrument? Um, Good question. To listen to, it's probably the guitar, but I'm not great at playing guitar, so I really admire people who are really good at playing guitar. But obviously, for me personally, it's piano, because if you listen to my music, um, almost all of my songs have piano in it. It's always sort of a basic foundation for every song that I do. If you hear a Don Diablo song, it always has like super modern production on it, but also like, you know, melodies and emotion that comes from the basic foundation of the piano. Can you show some stuff from your new collection? Hey, um, no, that's a secret. No, no, no. Let me see if I can give you guys some previews. I'm in the middle of my radio show, so I have to like listen to, I don't know if you can see this, like a shitload of demos, and this is my homework. I have to listen to all of this music every single day, promos and demos, to make the best radio show for you guys possible.
So, but that's not what you were asking me for. So sorry about that. Let me see if I can find you. If I can show you something from the new collection. Not as not. Oh, maybe wait. Maybe I can go do it like this. This is in a new collection. So there's a little preview. So it's a see-through jacket. Actually, it's the jacket I'm wearing in the set that I'm doing in my swimming pool. So, and then one more. There's going to be a whole suit with this style. So it's like with the paint splashes, which I really like. I really like this one as well. It's a sweater, as you can see, but like it opens up. I only have one hand, but like, see if I can show you. So you can open it. It has all these little fun details, and like the same goes for here on the sleeves. So yeah, I really personally love that one, and the back is really cool as well. Boom, and the fit's really dope. So yeah, previews right there. What about physical Hexagon stores? That's a really good question. I have been asked about this, and we have been speaking about it. Obviously, I'm a music maker, so all of this is kind of getting out of hand. And I'm talking with people that can help me with it, and there's a lot of people that are really hyped on it, so we're working on it. So stay tuned. This was going to be a 15-minute Q&A, by the way. This is already almost 40 minutes, but you guys are awesome. So shout out Men with Class, and shout out to all of you guys. What do I miss most during the current situation? You know what? Like, it's a very simple thing. It's actually just hugging my mom, to be very honest. So, yeah. Let's see, what else do we have here? Who is my favorite artist? Um, hmm. I don't really. I used to be like when I was a kid, I was really kind of inspired by people like David Bowie, Prince, Freddie Mercury, because they were like not just amazing musicians. I mean, people that I still can't stand in the shadow of, but they're also like very inspirational when it comes to like um, fashion, art, their whole thought process of approaching creative processes. So yeah, I'm definitely still influenced by all three of them, and I think like it's just a little bit too far out. Then I think no, what would David Bowie do? And I'm like, oh shit, yeah, he would have already thought that was super corny. So yeah, I think they definitely inspired me. I'll get rid of this because it's super light. Let's do like 5 more minutes, and then I'm gonna jump off. Is it important to move to bigger countries to succeed as an EDM music producer? I don't think it's important to succeed initially because music travels all around the world. On my Hexagon label, there are like people that like are from I've got people signed that are from Russia to Belarus to like Israel to America to Germany, France, Lithuania. Like it doesn't really matter so much, but I think if you want to make it like the last step, going from being an EDM producer to being a super smash, pop star, I think you need to be, either in London or in America. Um, but before that, I think you can do everything from your own home. Obviously, you need to travel every now and then to kind of look some people, visit some people, and visit some events, get inspired. But I think you can do it from anywhere. Favorite clothing brand? A. Um, hmm. I don't really have like one specific brand that I really like right now, to be honest. So if you guys can advise me anything, let me know. Because I'm usually mostly just wearing my own stuff because I make things so comfortable that I'm not really used to wearing any other people's brands. Yeah. So how many genres can you play? That's one Bebelino. These questions are really dope, by the way. So um,
You know what? Actually, I'm gonna do something super special. See, even during this quarantine, I'm challenging myself, and I think the art of DJing has sort of gone lost. And I think, you know, artists just go show up to shows and they're like just playing records, you know, kind of sort of on autopilot. But I think when I started, it was really about playing with vinyl. It was really about reading the crowd, being able to be versatile, playing different sounds, different genres, different tempos, different influences, different mixes. And, you know, I really am going back to that even more. I usually already kind of try to mix things up during my shows, but I think now I'm going back even more to kind of looking out and branching out to exploring different genres. So I did a drum and bass set in my house. I did like a house and disco set. Um, I'm gonna do a gabber slash like a hardcore set, like really super high energy, crazy stuff. And I think I want to try to, you know, be able to play as many genres as possible. Played melodic techno as well, I'm thinking. So if you have any genres that you want advice that I should be playing, I'm really open and down to explore other genres. So I'm looking into a trance, like a classic trance set maybe. And so going back to the classics. Favorite or most nostalgic track you've ever produced? Wow. I'd have to come back to the track I made for my father, The Artist Inside, because I wrote most of that music in a hospital hallway. So it's probably the most nostalgic track. This actually has like just a small, like a little bell melody in it. It goes like ding, 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 ding. Um, and that's become like a family anthem because every time I play those three, like just three little notes like, to my mom, she really like, you know, the tears already start flowing. So I think that's the most nostalgic track that I've ever made. Favorite character? Lord of the Rings. Don't say Pippin. Merlin. Can I say Merlin? Yes. What's my favorite food? I really like Japanese food, but I also love Italian food. But to be honest, like I also love some of the Greek food even, like feta cheese, and but I also love French food. Hmm. I think the conclusion is I just like food. I also like Indonesian food because my mom's from Indonesia and she really knows how to cook amazing Indonesian food. So, where's my favorite part of Japan? Good question. I mean, I'm obviously the big Tokyo fan, but I also really love Osaka. Um, so it's hard. I really just love like Japan as a whole. I've actually even been talking to a company that, you know, is interested in maybe partnering up with me and doing a HEXAGON Japan. So that's how much I love Japan, even though you're not Gosling. Favorite DJ outside your label? Yeah, I'd say Gustavo Stein. Still, I stick with my guns. Last question. PS4 or Xbox? Um, you know what? It's very sad actually. I actually have both. They both Xbox and PS4 send me you know, one of their consoles, but like I really haven't had time to play them. So I am I'm more of like an arcade uh kind of guy. So I really like to like own some of these arcade games, like original ones that used to be in these arcade um playrooms, playgrounds. I don't know what you call it, but so I just bought a Terminator shootout one with two guns, so you can play with friends. I bought an air hockey one actually now that's coming soon, hopefully. Um, yeah, and I really wanted to buy this Star Wars pod, uh, because, but that was too big. It didn't fit in my house, so we tried everything we could, but it didn't fit. So I was gonna say this what you said last night, but I'm not gonna do that. And on that note, I'm jumping off, guys. Thank you so much. I saw so many amazing questions. Which program do I use? This is Cubase. But I gotta jump off. So thank you guys so much. Thousand Faces preview. Just follow Men with Class. Obviously, you're already doing that. If you want to follow me, I'm Don Diablo. Thank you guys so much for all the dope questions. It was actually a lot of fun. Um, So shout out to you guys. Much love. Shout out to Men with Class. Stay friendly, stay humble, stay safe, stay classy. Catch you guys soon.